A millionaire man laughed at a black woman waiter who looked tired and worn until he noticed a faded mark of a Medal of Valor on her arm. He had just walked into one of the city's most luxurious hotel restaurants, dressed in a custom-tailored navy suit, polished leather shoes, and wearing the kind of smile that came from owning too many things and respecting too few people. As he looked around, he expected service that matched his status. When a middle-aged black woman walked over to his table, wearing a faded white uniform and old, worn shoes, he barely glanced up before letting out a half laugh. "Didn't realize this place was running a charity now," he muttered, just loud enough for those nearby to hear. "Guess they'll let anyone serve food these days." The woman didn't react. Her posture was calm, and her voice gentle but firm. "Good afternoon, sir. Can I get you started with something to drink?" The man chuckled again, not even trying to hide the disrespect. "Sure, sparkling water, and maybe a clean uniform while you're at it." He smirked, expecting a reaction, but she simply nodded and walked away. A few guests had overheard the comment, and awkward silence hung in the air. The man leaned back in his chair like a king on a throne, flipping through the menu with disinterest. When the woman returned with the water, she placed the glass and bottle gently on the table. As she leaned forward to pour it, her sleeve shifted slightly, just enough for a faded tattoo to be visible on her upper arm. The mark looked old, almost blended with her skin, but recognizable to anyone who knew what to look for. The man squinted. "What's that?" he asked. "Some kind of gang tattoo?" She paused, looked him straight in the eye. "No," she said quietly. "That's a Medal of Valor imprint. I earned it in Afghanistan, 2006. The man blinked. "Wait, what?" She placed the bottle back on the tray, her face calm. "I was a combat medic in the army. Our convoy was ambushed. I pulled 4 soldiers from a burning vehicle, took some shrapnel in the process. They gave me the Medal of Valor. This," she pointed gently to the faded tattoo, "isn't the medal. It's something I got later, as a personal reminder. Some soldiers do that, not to show off, just to remember they made it back when others didn't." The man sat back, stunned. His face lost the smugness it had carried moments ago. Around them, nearby tables had gone quiet again. The same people who had ignored her now listened closely. He opened his mouth, searching for words. I didn't mean to—" "Yes," she said, not angrily, just honestly. "But I've been through worse than rude words." The man glanced around. It was as if the whole room was silently judging him now, and for the first time he felt small in his expensive suit. A young woman nearby whispered to her friend, "She saved lives, and he mocked her shoes." Her friend just shook her head. The manager of the restaurant had noticed the moment too. He walked over, gently touched the woman's shoulder and said, "Lisa, take a break. I'll cover your tables." She gave him a grateful nod and walked toward the back. As she passed the man's table, he tried again. "Miss, I'm sorry. I didn't know." She stopped, looked at him, not with anger, but with quiet strength, and said, "That's the problem. You didn't even try to know." 15 minutes later, she returned from her break and went back to work as if nothing had happened. But everything had changed. The energy in the room had shifted. The man was still at his table, but he didn't look proud anymore. He looked reflective. When his meal was done, he stood, walked toward the counter, and quietly asked the manager for an envelope. In it, he placed 5 crisp $100 bills and wrote a note. Later, when Lisa returned to clear his table, she found the envelope. Inside was the money and a short handwritten message. For Lisa, "I came here full of pride. I leave humbled. Thank you for your strength, in war and in service." Lisa didn't keep the money. She placed the envelope in the restaurant's charity box for veterans. When the manager asked why, she smiled softly. "I didn't do it for guilt money. There are others still out there. Let it help them." Because for her, what mattered wasn't the apology or the cash, it was the simple fact that someone who laughed at her
now walked out a little wiser. She didn't need recognition. She had already faced death and come back. Now she served quietly, not because she had to, but because service in every form was part of who she was. That faded mark on her arm? It wasn't for the world to admire. It was for her. A reminder of fire, courage, and survival. And on that day, in a place of wealth and noise, a man finally saw it, and it changed him. And sometimes, the strongest people wear the simplest clothes. The ones we judge too quickly often carry the heaviest stories. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like the video and share it with someone who still believes in human dignity. Subscribe for more powerful stories that remind us respect is earned, not worn.